Hello everybody and welcome to the YouTube channel. It is I, Fonz the Falco. Like I said in the new year, I wanted to expand back into my YouTube channel. Instead of doing the podcast stuff, make some other videos along the way, and I got a special one for you. It is the official first episode on this channel called Fonz's Rankings. You're probably thinking, what is Fonz's Rankings? Fonz, what is that exactly? And I'll tell you what it is. I basically rank topics from anything from sports world to wrestling to food. I don't know what it is, but we got ourselves for the first one. It's going to be a Fonz's Ranking Sports Edition episode. It is in honor of Mr. Jason Kelce. If you aren't aware, Jason Kelce recently announced his retirement from the NFL after a long career with the Philadelphia Eagles. Longtime center was drafted 191st overall in the 2011 NFL Draft, 6th round, by the way, and spent his entire career with the Eagles. 7-time Pro Bowler, 6-time first-team All-Pro selection, and of course, your Super Bowl 52 champion. And arguably one of the best centers or one of the top offensive linemen the game has ever seen, and no doubt a future Hall of Famer. And on top of that, probably one of the most liked NFL players we've seen in recent memory. Unlike his brother Travis. Well, personally for me, that's because he beat my Baltimore in the AFC Championship game. I'm not mad about that whatsoever. I'm not mad about that whatsoever. I'm sure he's a great guy. But I'm not ranking Jason Kelce's career exactly. It's more of who he snapped the ball to. That's right. I'm going to be ranking all the starting quarterbacks he had in his career from 2011 when he drafted in his rookie year to his recent season in 2023. And crazy enough, he's only had 8 starting quarterbacks throughout his career. I'm going with them from worst to first. So what is the criteria for Fonz's rankings? Well, the main thing is it's all the starting quarterbacks from his career from 2011 to 2023, like I said. Guys like Marcus Mariota will not be mentioned. While he did play a game with the Eagles as Kelce was playing for that team, he did not start for them. So it's only the quarterbacks that started a game for the Eagles, and their stats and accomplishments for the Eagles were counted towards this list. If they played for other teams and their other accomplishments and stats, those don't matter. It was only during their Eagles tenure. And lastly, their personal stats and their regular stats or with the team had some effect in it too. The personal stats a little bit more than their team success, but I factored everything to this one. It's simple as that. No need more to explain. Follow along. It's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into the actual Fonz's ranking itself, let's hear a word from one of our affiliates here on the channel. Are you looking to upgrade your jewelry game? Add some accessories to your outfits? Well, I got you covered. Arichi London is a men's jewelry company based out of London. Let me tell you guys about the product. The products are either silver or gold plated with 18K gold or premium 316L stainless steel. And the finishes for the jewelry are created with anodizing and dipping multiple times to thickly seal and plate the jewelry for maximum and unbeatable durability. You know what that means? It means the product will never rust, tarnish, or turn your skin green. You know what the best part is? All the products are completely waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof, and they'll never fade, tarnish, or even rust. And the products are waterproof, sweatproof, and heatproof. And that means they'll never fade or tarnish. Another good thing, the products are 100% hyperallergenic, and you can wear any pieces 24/7. You don't have to worry about your skin developing a rash because the product does not contain nickel. And this is good for me actually because I have really sensitive skin. I have a couple of nice chains to them, a nice pendant here, the compass, and I got some bracelets here, a gold and silver one. The bracelets and the quality of the jewelry overall is really good. And it's a really good price. And you can get even better price if you use my code FONZ, F-O-N-Z, for 25% off your order. And also you get some free shipping on top of that. What more can you ask for? I'm telling you guys, it's some good quality jewelry. I'm really into accessories. I'm into some jewelry. So you guys, if you want to check out Arichi London, go to arichilondon.com. Get yourself some high quality either chains, pendants, bracelets, or rings right now. And use code FONZ, F-O-N-Z, for 25% off your order. Go do that right now. Here's Fonz's rankings of all the starting quarterbacks Jason Kelce has blocked throughout his entire NFL career. Number 8, Vince Young. Vince Young for me is one of those guys where I really wanted him to ball out in the NFL. I was a huge fan of him in Texas, and when he got to the Titans, I was excited to see him ball out, but we knew how that ended. Whether you blame Jeff Fisher or you blame him or not, personally I blame more towards Jeff Fisher's side, but regardless, it was a big what if and something that I really think about from time to time, because I'm a crazy person. But after his career with the Titans ended, he went over to the Philadelphia Eagles to sign with them in 2011, where he played for them for 1 season. He only played in 6 games for the Eagles during that time, with 3 starts and compiled a 1-2 record. During that season, he had 866 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, which compiled 57% passes completed, 144 yards a game, sacked 8 total times with a 60.8 QBR. Now, really, he's last on this list because he did not have that long of a career with the Eagles, only starting in 3 games. Remember, I factored more of the starting era with these Eagles quarterbacks. So 3 starts, the lowest amount on this list, only 1-2 record. Not really a memorable run with the Eagles. That's why he's last on this list. But regardless, Vince, I'm still a big fan of you. It was a big what if. I really wished you balled out on the Titans. I blame Jeff Fisher for that one. Number 7, Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew, one of the more recent additions on this list. After a couple of years with the Jacksonville Jaguars, signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he played with them from 2021 to 2022. In that 2-year run, he did play in 9 games with the Eagles with 4 starts and compiled a 1-3 record. And in his tenure, he did post 1,102 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. And that concluded with a 62.5 pass percentage completion, 122.4 yards a game, sacked 11 times with an 84.6 QBR. Now, the times Gardner did play with the Eagles, it was more in garbage time or when they were pretty much locked the spot with the playoffs, or Jalen Hurts missed a game or two here, but he was always a serviceable, quality, good quarterback, and he still is today too. Hey, look, he made the Pro Bowl last year and just signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, so maybe he'll make a nice little bounce back there. But Minshew, I always liked him. I always think he's a really cool guy, someone to hang out with. His Eagles tenure, maybe a little bit forgettable, but again, he was more of a backup serviceable guy and in spots starting when Jalen Hurts was out, but still, he is little on this list because he didn't have that long of a run. Number 6, Mark Sanchez. Oh, Jets fans, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. One of the weirdest careers in the NFL, from the butt fumble to 2 AFC Championship back-to-back seasons. Just a very, very odd and interesting career for Mr. Sanchez. After his run with the Jets, he did sign with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he played there from 2014 to 2015. And he played in 13 games with 10 starts and compiled a 4-6 record. During his time, he had 3,034 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Completing 64% of his passes, 233 yards a game, sacked 32 times with an 86.6 QBR. Now, again, the case of like other quarterbacks was more of the backup guy for the Eagles during the time here too. Some spot starts here and there, and that time with the Eagles was a very, very weird time. Had a lot of different rotating quarterbacks, Sanchez being one of them. The Sanchez, he is on this list a little bit lower because he did have a longer career and had compiled some more stats as compared to Minshew and Vince Young prior. I think maybe if Minshew stayed on there a couple more seasons or was there for a longer period, he definitely would be a little bit higher on the list because he was more consistent than Sanchez, but longevity takes a little bit of a factor here and more games played. Number 5, Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford had a very, very weird career. I never really saw with this guy. I just don't understand the career of Sam Bradford. But he was the Eagles starting quarterback for 1 season in 2015, played in 14 games in that season with 14 starts, and you guessed it, much like with him and Jeff Fisher in that Rams team, a perfect 7-7, 500 record. You can't get any more even than that. 3,725 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. Had a pretty solid 1 year with the Eagles. 65% of his passes were completed, 266 yards a game, sacked 28 times with an 86.4 QBR. Yes, Jason Kelce did snap the ball to Sam Bradford in his 1 season with the team in 2015. Bradford, he is a little bit higher up on here because he did have a better record compared to Sanchez and others on here and had a little bit better yards than Sanchez. Still, Bradford was more consistent than Sanchez. That's why he's bumped up here on the list. Number 4, Michael Vick. I'm not going to get into the details of Michael Vick's career prior to the Philadelphia Eagles. If you know what happened, you know. If not, go ahead and check it out if you're curious. Well, Michael Vick had a career with the Eagles after his time, his suspension and his prison time from 2009 to 2013. And I guess you could say he had a little bit of a comeback with his time with the Eagles. Now we're getting to this point in the list where some guys are actually having some accolades here. Michael Vick, 1-time Pro Bowler, 2010 Comeback Player of the Year, and 2010 Burt Bell Award winner. In 54 games, he had 42 starts and compiled a 20-20 record. With 9,984 yards, 57 touchdowns, and 33 interceptions, he was an electric quarterback just like his Atlanta Falcon days. In 87.7 QBR, completing 59 of his passes, a little bit lower than the other guys mentioned on here, but again, Vick was absolutely electric during his time with the Eagles. That made that Eagles team actually a lot of fun to watch. Jason Kelce had one of his better years with his time with Vick and the Eagles. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts. I've always liked him since his days in Alabama and even his time in Oklahoma. I was always a fan of him. I always will be rooting for him. He's one of the top quarterbacks, I think, in the NFL right now. Started his career with the Eagles at the 2nd-round pick in 2020, became a starter by 2021, a 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time second-team All-Pro, and the 2022 Burt Bell Award winner. During his time when Jason Kelce was the center, he played in 62 games with 51 starts and compiled a 34-17 record. 11,764 yards, 67 touchdowns, and 34 interceptions, and also very mobile quarterback too. 2,503 yards with 41 rushing touchdowns. Now, a lot of it does involve the tush push, but hey, you know what? We count that in the record books too. 91 QBR and 63.4 pass completion. Jalen Hurts, no doubt, is in the top 3 of the best quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks wise, during Jason Kelce's career. Now, I really do think if he beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, I think he would have been number 1 on this list in my opinion because he has the stats on here. There's no doubt about it, but it was a little bit of a shorter run during Jason Kelce's career as compared to the other 2 on this list and the other one that has won an award, and we'll get to that in a second. Still, there's no doubt that Jalen Hurts was an electric addition for the Eagles. It definitely was a nice spot with Jason Kelce's career, and he definitely did enjoy his time with Hurts as his quarterback. And I mean it when I say it. If Hurts didn't win that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, he would have no doubt climbed a lot higher on this list. Number 2, Nick Foles. Nick Foles. one of the interesting, way more interesting career than when you really look back on it. If you look back on it years from now, we're going to be like, that was a weird career for Mr. Foles. Nick Foles had 2 runs with the Eagles during his career from 2012 to 2014. Went to a couple teams in between. Then in 2017, signed back with the Eagles and played another season the following year. Now, in his first run with the Eagles, actually was a Pro Bowler in 2013 and a 2013 passer rating leader, and included a record of 7 touchdowns, a record that still holds today in a single game. Wasn't a very efficient passer during his time, but we know what happened in his second tenure with the Eagles. Came back after Carson Wentz tore his ACL, came in as the backup quarterback and won the Super Bowl in 52, along with the Super Bowl MVP honors. In 40 games during his Eagles run with 32 starts, he compiled a 21-11 record. 8,703 yards, 58 touchdowns, and 23 interceptions. A 93.2 QBR to go along with 62% of his passes completed with 217 yards per game. He was very consistent with the Eagles. Now, I know some people might put him number 1 on this list if we were ranking the quarterbacks during Jason Kelce's career. He did do something that no other Eagles quarterback did, was hoist the Lombardi Trophy and also win MVP honors. But take away that magical playoff run and that tail end of that 2017 season, he really had some average to somewhat okay stats here with the Eagles. Was a consistent player, don't get me wrong, but take away that playoff spot, I'm not too sure about it, but still, he does crack the top 2 on this list. At number 1, Carson Wentz. Former number 2 pick in the 2016 draft is also a big question mark too, because let me tell you guys something. In 2017, before Nick Foles came about, Carson Wentz was on a tear. During that 2017 season, he did win Pro Bowl honors. It was a second-team All-Pro Award winner and the 2017 Burt Bell Award winner. And I think not for that ACL tear towards the tail end of the 2017 season, I think he would have been one of the MVP favorites. And honestly, there was a case that he could have won MVP that year, but that did not happen. He still ended up winning the Super Bowl. Obviously, was on the field for because of the injury, because Nick Foles was the starter during that time. But still, he is number 1 on my list of quarterbacks during Jason Kelce's career. He did play in all 68 games. He did start competing a 35, 32, and 1 record. 16,811 passing yards, 113 touchdowns, and 50 interceptions. Completed 62% of his passes and an 89 QBR. And look, it's a big what if. What if Carson Wentz never tore his ACL? Will the Eagles still would have made the playoffs? Would they even made a Super Bowl run here? I still think they would have. I think they probably would have even won the Super Bowl during that time too. I think they would have been a consistent part in the NFC playoff picture. But you know, once he came back from the ACL injury, he did struggle a little bit here and there, which led to them drafting Jalen Hurts in the second round. And then once they saw Wentz was struggling more and more, they put Hurts in, and you know, the rest is history. But still, during those years where Carson Wentz was the starting quarterback for the Eagles, I think that was the best quarterback starting wise for the Eagles during Jason Kelce's career. Still a big what if, but I gotta say, Jason Kelce had some good quarterbacks snapping the ball too. That is my Fonz's rankings of all the starting quarterbacks during Jason Kelce's career from worst to first. Let me down below, which one did I get right? Which one did I get wrong? What would you shuffle up on this list? If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing to this channel, Fonz DeFalco. Hit the bell, tell a friend, tell a couple of friends. You can check out my side channel, Fonz Talks Jerseys, where I talk exclusively jerseys, nothing about the game itself, just the jerseys. You can follow the Instagram page as well at Fonz Talks Jerseys. All my links are down below, my socials, my Instagram, TikTok, everything where you get the podcast if you want to get the audio version. But if you like video versions of the podcast, it's on this channel. Select back kickback. We're in the podcast section. Definitely want to check that out. Like I said, this year we're doing a lot more videos on this channel outside of the podcast. I'm going to bring back the commentary videos, some sports stuff, some wrestling stuff. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Again, I consider this a grab bag because that's what I like to do. I like talking random things. Just like this video, it pops into my head. I made my list, and boom, here we are. And I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation I made with this first episode of Fonz's Rankings. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but it should be a good one. But you definitely want to stay tuned for that. For the people at Arichi Jewelry too, they've been very good help here. Look at this nice little chain here they got. Again, Fonz, hit the link down below. You get 25% off your order. As of this video, have a good day, good night, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.